Coming to you live from Fight Mixer Studios, it's the Bare Knuckle Insider Show, hosted by Matthew Kohler and Britton O'Bannon, bringing you insider information on all things bare knuckle.
Pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Still claiming champion. Yeah. Still claiming champion. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Still claiming champion. Undisputed.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Bare Knuckle Insiders. What's up, Brett?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, I'm pretty excited about tonight's program. We've got some awesome guests coming on. We got Sam Shewmaker coming on here in just a couple minutes, and then later on in the show, we've got Jarod Grant coming on. So two absolute superstars that I am very excited to talk to. But in the meantime, I got something on my mind, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. And for those folks that are going to be jumping in here in the chat here momentarily,
was it the fact that wait, Matt? Was it the fact that we were talking about Britton and Bobo having like a sex tape, and we were talking about that on the because it's a good idea. I mean, we're talking about reality TV show with Britton and Bobo, but it's a genius idea. You just have to get a camera from Walmart. And I'm on it.
I like that. Hey, somebody just said I'm a beautiful creature. I don't know who said it because it
had to be both. It had to have been both.
I hope
That's
so.
what he says. Maybe not, but I believe so.
What's up, Derek? What's up, MacGyver? But okay, so I want to get I do want to talk about Creature is Right. I do want to talk about that ingenious idea of a reality show. But I do like in all seriousness. I've had this query on my mind about the women's division in BKFC specifically. So coming up, we have obviously Christine Faria and Taylor Starling. And I guess my question is, I mean, and it's a little bit simpler. If Taylor were to somehow pull out a win, it may not be as complicated. But I think a lot of, at least, and there's no secret. I love Taylor Starling. She's a friend of the show. She's an awesome person, but Christine Faria is one of my really, really close friends. And so I gotta pick Christine, and I gotta just assume and have faith in my buddy that she's going to pull out this W. And given that happens, who in the world is she going to fight next? Like, who else is there in the division right now that could legit step in, rankings wise, just logistically, or who could pose a real challenge? And I've been racking my brain, and I cannot come up with a good answer to that question. Nobody. Bobo says nobody, and I kind of feel the same, because I mean, who really at this point, who is there, or who has the record, to justify a title shot, or who? That's the question. So I want to start a conversation about this with the community, because and I'm sure somebody has an opinion and reasons for your opinion. I want to hear all about that. But what do you think, Britton?
Well, I don't know. I don't have a clue. Like, as you're saying it, I'm sitting here like, well, yeah, I can't think of anybody. Like, I don't know. What do we do after this fight? Like, are we just gonna let them keep fighting again each other? I mean,
Right. I mean, they're clearly the top two females in the division at this point.
Yes.
And you know, who does Christine fight next? Who does Taylor fight next, for that matter? Or whoever the winner is, who's gonna challenge them? I just don't. So that's something on my mind. So if you guys have any thoughts on that, and you watch this program, you're watching live or you watch it now, and I'm gonna have to agree with you, Derek. As much as I really do believe in Taylor, I think she's a talented fighter. I think that she's an awesome person. I just, you know what? And I'll be the first one to admit that I was wrong and eat crow and whatever. If I'm not right, but I just don't see anybody, regardless of who it is, beating Christine Faria right now. That's my humble opinion.
I agree. I mean, I have seen some video of Taylor recently, and I was a little impressed. Yes, I was a little impressed. And so either way, I feel like it's going to be a completely awesome fight. Like, without a doubt, I think it's going to be fight of the night.
It is. All right.
We don't know.
We got a guest in the waiting room, and I want to bring him on, my very good friend and the guy that actually got me into the sport. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing any of this. And, you know, I probably would be a fan, but I don't think I would have gotten involved. So without any further ado, my absolute favorite bare knuckle fighter of all time, Sam the Hillbilly Hammer, Shewmaker. What's happening, my friend?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Doing good. So what's been going on?
Work, lots of work, man. You know, we're toward the end of the camp. Got a big fight coming up here in less than 2 weeks. Just putting in that work.
Absolutely. So, okay, I gotta get you to weigh in on. I don't know if you heard our conversation before you came in, but who's next? I mean,
they're going to do some recruiting. Maybe have a women's tournament to see who fights the champ. I don't know, but I definitely think they need to get some fresh meat out there and get some people in. Get some more fights going. It's challenge. I think it's really challenging. I think it's going to be challenging for them to bring anybody in that is going to pose a threat to Christine at this point, a real threat. And I think that Taylor is the person to do that if anybody will. But I think that's a tall order for anybody in that division. So anyway, but back to you. I just wanted to see if you had an opinion. Big fight coming up, obviously. Headed overseas. Man, it's so huge. It's so exciting. I'm so happy for you, and made you look great. Thank you.
You know, you look like an absolute monster, like you're ready to rip somebody's head off. So I'm excited. How are you feeling?
I feel great. You know, we've been pretty well injury-free throughout this camp and really been able to put in some good hard work. So we're excited to see, what happens. We're ready to go out there and represent Team USA versus the UK. So
absolutely. You've got a tough opponent, obviously, you know, and I think that stylistically it's interesting. He comes from more of a pure bare knuckle boxing background in BKB, but I've also heard and read a couple things that he has a Muay Thai background as well. So is that something that, you know, so maybe he will be familiar with fighting in the clinch? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Mick's an all-around pretty good fighter. You know, he can fight in clinch. He was a, ex-Muay Thai champion. So either from outer range, boxing style, bare knuckle, or the inside Muay Thai, I think he's going to be good in the clinch and standing outside. So it's going to be interesting to see, what we bring up there to the table for him. It's going to be fun. We're going to get out there and bring it to him. So
just knock somebody's ass out.
Yeah, that's what we're going to try to do.
So, all right. I've got a few questions for you that are like non-fight related that I'm just going to have some fun with, but I want to give Britton a chance to ask hers because I won't shut my mouth. I'll just keep yapping. So go ahead, Britt.
Wow. Okay. So I know it's been a little while, obviously, since you fought. So with this training camp, how are you feeling as far as going back into the ring and having a break? Do you think that is going to be a disadvantage, or do you think that it gave you even more time to prepare for this opportunity?
We definitely feel like we've had plenty of time to train, for this fight. And just as far as mental wise, we feel so much better going into this fight than we had in the last previous couple. Pretty clear headed with what we need to do. And just,
relieved with the way life and everything's going. You know, we don't have anything crazy right now hanging over our heads. So just excited to get out there and have some fun, you know.
Absolutely. And I can attest to that too. You know, talking to you like at this point before your previous fight versus talking to you now, it's like I'm talking to a different guy. I feel like your energy is great. You're, you know, if you don't mind me saying that, but I just really feel like you seem to be mentally in an awesome place right now. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, we're feeling good. You know, home life's good. I can't really complain. You know, we're eating good. We've, you know, watching what we're eating, you know, through this camp and just really pushing ourselves to a new level. So hopefully everyone sees a new Hibbley Hammer out there this time.
Hell yeah. All right.
I'm excited.
Here's my first question to you, sir. What is your secret to somehow what seems like every single year killing a monster buck during bow season?
Years
Because it kind of pisses
hard
me
work.
off. Yeah.
You had a good one last year. Yeah.
I got a decent one.
Yeah, no, just years and years of hard work and knowing the area and where they're at and just putting in my homework this year. Honestly, I've seen a few. I haven't really been able to scout as much because we've, you know, had camp going on, so I haven't really spent a lot of time out there. But you never can tell. I might just pull a rabbit out of my hat this year. We'll see.
I've heard some stories from some local people about how you just seem to be the guy that they just, and I know it's skill. I know you're a skilled hunter and a skilled outdoorsman, but some people just have better luck. You know, it's just that
That's
one
true.
moment in time where it just happens to be there. So, like the one I killed this last year, I'd scouted that area for the entire year. The buck that I killed, I had never seen before. Never been on my cameras, never seen him, never scouted him. He just happened to walk, you know, take a stroll through the wrong area where I happen to be. So
Well,
sometimes that happens, but it was.
Yeah. So he was probably traveling for who knows how far.
Yeah. He was on the run, but
Nose to the ground. I know. You know how us
Oh, yeah.
bucks, we get to run around.
Anyway, but yeah, I've been curious about that because I every single year it's just like, damn, another monster.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, you know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that makes me feel good.
but all right. So you got your dad. You know, I'm a dad, and that's like my favorite thing in life that I'm, you know, been blessed to be able to do. And I know you like being a dad, but I'm curious. Like, I can't really put myself in their place to like be your kid, especially in a small town like Versailles, or you know, the lake area. How do your boys describe to other people what you do?
I mean, most of their friends and stuff, they come over, they see us, they know that we're just a you know, down to earth regular family. But for the most part, it's not too shocking because, you know, my family's been known for that around here for generations.
That's true.
Some of the newer kids or kids that aren't really familiar with it, yeah, they're kind of like, what? You do what? And it's more their parents than it is them.
I would imagine it's got to be the parents that are like think it's like his dad does what? Like, I don't know about, you know, like, anyway.
What?
Right. But okay, all right, Britt, you got one. I got a couple more, and I can keep going.
I'm just over here laughing at these questions because I would have never asked a deer question because I've never even been deer hunting. So
shame on you.
I couldn't. I know I couldn't chime in. I don't know if it would be safe for me to go though. Like, I would ask Bo to take me, but he would probably end up like having to get a bullet removed because of me almost dropping the gun or something like that. So let's not do that. I'm just gonna let
the thing about hunting is you got to just get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, and just deal with it and be patient. And that's why I think I like it, because I'm not a patient person at all. So it's good for me to want something bad enough that I'm willing to go against, you know, what is my natural inclination, which is to just fidget and, you know, be Mr. ADHD all the time. So I think it's actually really good for me for that reason. But
no patience and yeah, I think you have to be quiet. Don't you have to be quiet?
You do. Yeah. That would be a problem for you.
Yeah, it's not gonna. I'm surprised you can go. Actually, Matthew.
I might be tested this year. My 10-year-old daughter says she wants to go, so we're gonna see how that works out.
Okay.
Well,
Since, it's still my turn, Matthew. I didn't get to ask.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this is just. But how's your wife, by the way? If you don't mind me asking, how is she?
No, for sure. She's doing really good. Her treatment ended back in December, cancer free. We've had a few checkups since then. She's had she's got some recurring side effects that might not ever go away, fatigue and stuff like that. But we're blessed, she's here, she's back to work and, being a good mom and a good wife. So we can't complain. We're happy to have her back and in full health.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely. And I know Lauren's a good mom, but I remember the Lauren like as a little kid. I remember because obviously for people that don't know, Sam's wife's brother is my best friend. And so like I spent a lot of time in his wife's parents' house, in that household when I was a kid. And so, thinking about Lauren, like doing the mom thing to me is like, I know she's awesome at it and people like, like evolve over time and stuff. But I could tell you some stories.
She's come a long ways, let me tell you. She really jumped right into it naturally. At first, her and I both were like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but no, she really fell into it and done really well. So
yeah, no, you got a good one for sure. She's an awesome girl. Okay, so this is just kind of a weird question, but we had the Mega Millions jackpot winner here recently. And of course, they won like 1 point. Oh, my sister's in the chat. She says hello to Sam.
Hey, Tiffany.
But so this person won like I don't know, like $1.2 billion or whatever. And of course, they only kept like a little over 400 million after taxes, is what I read. But still a lot of money. Right. But this has been in my mind, like just for me personally, but for you, like. What would you do if you won something like that and like won a tremendous amount of money like that? What do you think you would do? Would you keep fighting or would you keep working or would you just like disappear? Like, I feel like I would probably try to like take my people, like a small group of people and just like disappear, never to be heard from again, I
mean, honestly, who knows? I'd like to say I'd, possibly quit competing myself, but open up a gym and make it like state of the art where you could do anything you wanted, whether it be fighting, wrestling, basketball, indoor baseball, football. I mean, I'm talking like a state of the art facility where the kids could come and really, get an education as far as on, being an athlete, even have some classrooms for if they need help with classwork and stuff. But I'd like to say that's something that I would do. That's kind of a passion of mine. I built baseball fields. I mean, with that kind of money, you could do a lot of stuff.
You could do a lot of stuff. And I would like to think that I would do good things with it. I feel like I probably would do something like that, but like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I think I'd get too bored to not do anything. Like I would.
Right. Exactly. You'd have to stay busy doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd start all kinds of hobbies and not finish them. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Brett? What would you do?
I would probably, I don't know. I would probably send Bo away for a little while. Give him some peace and quiet. Yeah. And or maybe I would hire somebody to, I don't know, come train him on like how to lay out his work clothes or make his own meal prep.
You just get an Alice like from the Brady Bunch. Yes. like everybody wants an Alice. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Alice was awesome.
Maybe develop like a cloning system so we can clone many of Bo's. So, if you have a trophy husband like Bo, let's get 100 Bo's and just like, yeah.
And then add another Bo to each clone. So like the second one would be like Bo, then Bo. Anyway.
That's giving me a boner. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, not that again, please. He's gonna come breaking through the door any second now. Good job. But no, honestly, like I would probably try to make my husband's life a little bit easier because bless his soul, like we had our housewarming party this past weekend and his poor self stayed up for 2 or 3 nights in a row till 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then left at 4 or 5 to go to work but he was outside
Mm.
painting. So I'd probably try to make his life a little bit easier. Or I don't know. I sometimes enjoy like laughing at him when he's at work. Like, I'm dying. I'm like, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, I think that's interesting because like I think that like of anybody or of most of these fighters, like there are a lot of parallels, like totally different personalities, but like as far as lifestyle wise, I feel like Bobo and Sam actually have quite a bit in common, you know,
We
as
talk
compared
about
to
it
some
well.
of these other fighters,
think so.
because
Mhm.
both
Yeah.
really hardworking family guys that that also happen to be total badasses that fight professionally at a really high level, you know. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think you would like try to do things to make your life easier, Sam? In some ways, I would expect if you won all that money.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd be like George Jetson floating around on my little jet thing. You know, I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff around your house. Have definitely an
Absolutely.
Alice, like you said, an Alice from the Brady
Yeah, you
Bunch.
got
I had about 12 of them. I'd be like, hey.
right, exactly. Like nanny
No, I don't know. Yeah,
maid whatever. I think what do they call her? What do they call her? Just
I'd feel
like a
bad.
housekeeper or something? I don't know.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
Alice was the best.
But yeah, I mean,
It's
you,
not
with that
called a house.
kind of money, you could definitely make life easier on you and a lot of people around you. I could imagine.
Agreed. But it's
sure.
it's wild to think about how somebody's life just changes like that.
Overnight. Mm-hmm.
You know. So all right. All right. Another random thought for you.
Oh boy,
Um,
I love these.
so, and I want everybody to weigh in the chat, but like, okay. So like back when we were like in school growing up, like in high school, junior high, and things like that, there were certain people that were like the high school tough guys, or like, you know, the school tough guys. And certainly I think that you were one of those. Not that I really remember you ever getting in, you know, fights at school or anything like that, but everybody just knew better, it seemed like. But there were those guys. And do you ever think about like some of those high school tough guys, or those people that had that reputation or sought that reputation, that sort of reputation? Like, how would a guy like that, like some of those, and there are a few people that I'm thinking about, and I'm not going to name names, but how would a guy like that do versus, you know, a bare knuckle fighter? Because I feel like they would give a different answer than what somebody like you would.
Well, I mean, that's an easy one. Anyone that's not trained like these guys who are professional that do it for a living, I mean, you wouldn't stand a chance at all. Most of the, you know, high school tough guys that we knew either, you know, smoked cigarettes or drank heavily. So really, you get up there for about 2-3 minutes, and they give it all they got, and after that, they're done. And they're just, you know, dead fish in the water. So I would go, you know, 9.9 times out of 10, the trained fighter would annihilate the, you know, tough guy out of school for sure.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I feel like some of those guys wouldn't, but you know, like, do you think that they would disagree? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about though, but I don't know why that randomly came into my head earlier today. I'm like, and I was thinking about a couple people. And I even saw like somebody that we sort of grew up with, like in a bare knuckle thread one time, making you know, like pleading his case to David Feldman about why he should be allowed to be on the roster based on the number of street fights that he's had. And, you know, if anybody would do it, if that guy was trained and whatever, he was a hell of an athlete and also was a legitimate tough guy. So maybe he could, but you know,
Yeah,
I feel,
you might
feel like
have
it would take some
minimal
work.
success. Yeah, minimal success. And it'd be the low level fighters they would have the success with.
Right.
You know, and there could possibly, I'm not going to name names, be some of those that's already on the BKFC roster who are like that. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to flip it over. I got one more question, but I'm going to flip it back over to Britton.
Of course, I have to ask a question about your upcoming fight because we are super stoked. I cannot focus with this comment that keeps popping on the screen. But anyways, we are super stoked about this fight coming up. So what do you think are some advantages that your opponent may have, and what some of the disadvantages your opponent may have, and vice versa? Like, what are you looking at?
well, you know, obviously it's going to be in London, so it'll be a hometown for him. That's always a decent advantage. That helps
Absolutely.
mentally, you know, and having the crowd behind you and stuff, you know. Plus, it's really going to boost him mentally because he's got to be pumped up. You know, he's got to defend his home turf. So, there's definitely an advantage for him there. On the flip side of that, the advantage for me is that I'm the underdog as far as that goes. So that, it gives me that much more drive and determination to, put on a good show and come back with the win, and, for me, being on Team USA, representing the United States is huge for me. I got the whole country on my back along with, my other teammates. So I'm just really looking very excited to use that edge, to my advantage. So I think it's going to be a great fight. I think him and I match up well. We both have some of the similarities in some and a little bit different in others. So it's going to be a fight that you don't want to miss, because you never can tell, somebody could get hit, bam's over, heavyweights.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Totally agree. So do you have any plans? Like I know that like the time zone difference is really can have a legitimate impact on you. Do you plan to like try to adapt your sleeping patterns, or like make any changes with like your daily routine based solely on the idea that, to try to acclimate yourself before you go?
As far as just getting the time for the fights and things, and then of course you have the jet lag. We've been talking to a few people, and just we're going to make a few adjustments here and there, and then when we get over there, get some good rest, and hopefully get that jet lag behind us. So we've got a few tips and a few keys we're going to try to hone in on. This will be my first fight, in a different time zone as far as that far out.
Right.
So I think it'll be different, and it is going to affect me, but hopefully with talking to some of these veterans and other people that's been there and done that, I can use some of their knowledge and get out of it and be good.
Fair enough. So you've got this fight, and of course we're not going to look past this one because it's going to be, we expect him to be a tough opponent. We know that he is, and he's experienced and good. He's a good fighter. All right, we do have a question in the comments. Shewmaker, do you feel as though the talent level is higher in BKFC than the BYB?
That's a tough question. There's definitely some real talented fighters in BYB. I've been watching some of their stuff, and following some of the guys. But right now, I think that the BKFC roster is definitely stacked with the bigger names and a little bit better talent, as far as how much there is in BKFC. So I would say right now, BKFC has an edge, but BYB is growing fast and getting better and better talent every day. So I wouldn't be surprised if they catch up pretty quick.
I think that's a really solid answer. And I think that honestly, I tend to agree that the overall talent level is probably BKFC does have a little bit of an edge there, but that's not necessarily across the board though. I mean, because there are some really good fighters over in BYB also. And what they've done in a really short period of time, both promotions really, but I mean, BYB, even just like, to me, it seems in the last year or so has come such a long way. And really has become, a legitimate contender in this industry. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the entire sport. It's really cool to see. Competition is a good thing in business.
Yeah, I think so.
So, okay. I got one more question, and then I'll let Britton close us out with the last question of the night. So, who's somebody in your life that you just really and truly admire, and what are some of the qualities that you admire or about that person, or why what makes you really look up to whoever it is you're going to talk about?
Someone outside of my family that I really admire, because you always have those family members that you love and look up to and that are idols of yours. But someone I'd like to talk about that's outside of my family was my best friend Tyler growing up. Dad, Rob. His name's Rob Harrelson. He was, my baseball coach. He's a really big influence as far as the community and giving back and helping out in the youth and stuff. And, honestly, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in bare knuckle. He helped get me to Philly to the tryouts and, was there with me and watched it all happen. And, was shedding a tear as the tryouts were going on, because, he was just so happy with what he was seeing. And I know he's just always been such a big supporter of not only myself, but the youth in our area. So he's just always been such a hard worker and a good guy and would do anything for anybody. I just hope that someday I can give back half as much as what he has.
Great answer. I thought that might be who you might. I've heard you mention him before, so and I know you guys are close. So, all right, Britton, what's your last question for the Hillbilly Hammer?
Okay, since you did bring up how kids feel about whatever earlier about the fight world, basically. Anyways, so how would you feel? I don't know if your kids are into fighting or not, so I don't know. But how would you feel if your sons grew up and wanted to do this? Would you like for them to do this? Is this a road that you would encourage for them?
It's funny that you ask. As you know, I have 3 sons, and they all 3 like to scrap around a little bit, and they all like to play sports. But my middle son, Jackson, he loves to fight. He loves fighting. He loves boxing. He's been begging me for years to get him an amateur boxing match. So I encourage him definitely to whatever he wants to do in life. I'm more than happy to back him and to guide him along the way and help him as much as I can. I'm kind of like the way my dad was. I'd rather see him play baseball or something else if he can, But if he eventually just still, has that love for it and wants to do it, I will definitely back him and be in his corner and, be right there with him every step of the way.
That's awesome. That is super awesome.
That is fantastic. So, all right, Sam, I know you're a busy guy. Are there any questions that we didn't ask you that you wish we would have asked you? I think that's, I always think I'm going to ask people that, but what did we not ask that you wish we would have asked?
I think you guys covered, a pretty good amount. Nothing too crazy. My next fight, I'm definitely hoping it's Josh Burns. I don't give it. You guys didn't ask that one. I thought you were going to,
yep.
But I want Josh Burns next.
Oh.
So after this fight, 100%, you are asking for Josh Burns, right?
Yeah, him or his little buddy, Chris Arthur, either one.
Either one of them. Okay, so yeah. Josh Burns, Chris Sorrow. You heard it. You heard the man. Here we go. All right. So any shout outs and talk about sponsors. I know that you've got a number of really great sponsors, including the one on your hat.
Yeah, Lake TV, definitely. I got Superior Excavating, Atlas Dock, Edgar Rods, Veracruz Mexican restaurant here in Versailles. I got BDC Services, Another Round, Big Dicks Halfway In, and then I've been Land Office. Lynn and M Home Loans. They're a big backer of mine, my sister. So yeah, and then of course you guys are always helping me out, getting me good interviews and stuff. I just want to give you guys a shout out. Really appreciate you guys. It's great to see you guys again, and of course, Britton, it's always a pleasure seeing you on here.
Thank you. You're I just love you. Probably because you make me think of Bo, but you're like a smarter version of Bo, I think.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if I'd say that, but maybe. But I take that as a compliment. Bo's a great dude. I love that guy too. So
thank you. Yes.
All right, Sam.
You and I actually always talk about, if I'm talking about fighting, with Bo, he automatically we're talking about y'all too. And it's so weird, the things I've said, and he's like, Sam's just Sam does that, or Sam's, you know what I mean? Just anything. And it's so weird, how much alike y'all are. So that's
it's
probably
awesome.
why yes, I love it.
Yeah, we get along so good. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all need to have a family picnic or something. That'd be a good time at some point.
I have a question.
Cool.
If we have a family picnic, I really hope Bo's not watching right now, but can you bring the hammer?
I'll bring the hammer.
Okay, perfect. My daughter would be super stoked about that one. So.
Oh Lord, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Sam. Well, hey, always good to talk to you, my brother, and best of luck. And we will we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you back on the program after the fight.
Can't
All
wait.
right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
See ya.
Have a good night, Sam.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
So, Brittany Carino will say that I'm biased, and she's probably right about that. But how can you not like that guy?
I love him.
Great, just a great dude. And you know what, happens to also be a really, really great fighter. But we got another great fighter waiting right now to come on and talk to us. Really excited to talk to him as well. Yes. So without further ado, we're going to bring on Kid Gotti, Jarod Grant, my man.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Good.
Awesome. So
the question on everybody's mind, or at least that's on my mind, is how are you feeling? How's the eye? How are you recovering from the injury?
I'm doing good, man. Not gonna make too much comments on the eye, but
Okay.
no, I'm doing good. Looking forward to my next fight. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here, and I'm glad that you said that everything's going well for you. So my first question, I'm just going to jump right into this. And you and I, we've met, but I don't know you super well. So I want to get to know you though, and that's kind of what we do, like on this show. Like we want to try to get to know you and let the fans get to know you as a person and not just as a fighter, because at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
you're a human being. So I want to know I want to know about you as a guy, as a dude. So okay, I'm going to kick it off with this question. What's something that in your mind that you think that people misunderstand about you?
Misunderstand about me?
Anything that comes to mind?
I think people take me like I see a lot of comments. I don't know if that's everyone, but I got a lot of people that think I'm a real cocky fighter, real like, oh, I deserve. I feel like basically like bare knuckle owes me everything and this, and I feel like they really think like I'm going in trying to take food off people's plate. But I'm actually a really humble guy. I'm actually a really humble fighter. People think that I'm not. Some people think that I'm not a humble guy. Like after the Reggie fight, they didn't think I was real sportsman-like or something. But that's literally everything. Like probably out of my whole team, I think like I'm probably one of the most humble guys and sportsman-like. But people take me as a real cocky fighter or stuff like that.
Absolutely, and I will say that I've spoken to. I don't know you that well, but I've spoken to some people who do, and just asking about you as a person. And that's what I hear, is that you truly are the most humble, humble guy. And I've also heard that you're incredibly generous too. Would you say that that's true?
I think I'm a little too generous. And
okay, yeah. So I actually heard a story about you that, and I don't know if I should say it, so I won't go into details, but that somebody that that you're close to mentioned that they liked something or something like that, and then that certain thing, just without them ever asking or saying anything, just because they said they liked it, that certain thing showed up in their hotel room.
Yes.
Courtesy of you. Is that a true story?
That is a very.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think that I think that loyalty is a big thing. And generosity is also really important quality in a human. So I think that's awesome. That's awesome.
I love giving because when I was younger, I never really had a lot of stuff. So now that I have a little better life and I know I'm working for more stuff, whatever I can give to other people that, if they like something or they want it, and especially the people I love, I'll do it. If I could do it, I'll do it,
Yeah. Where does that come from? Is that like an inherited trait, or is that something that you've learned, or what, where's that come from?
I think I picture myself in that. What I do is a lot is that I'll picture myself like as a kid, like when I really used to want something, but I couldn't get it. And I guess I put myself in that person's shoes or something like that. And I like to give it to them. And my grandmother was a real giving person, and she raised me a lot. So I probably got it from her. I don't know. That's just the way I am.
Yeah. I think that's interesting how, like you mentioned somebody that you're close to, like your grandmother, like, because for me, like my dad was probably the most generous and most giving person that I've ever been around. And I'd like to hope that I inherited some of that, but just would give, not even just like, things of monetary value, but would give of his time and give up his, just give whatever he could give. If he could give it to you and it was going to help you out, he would do it without questioning it. And I respect that a lot in a human being. And I hope I don't think I'm quite as good as him. But I may be a little more selfish. Unfortunately, I try not to be, but yeah, but I'm glad that you mentioned that. Okay. Yeah. Welcome back, Britton. Britton got frozen out, but she's back. So this is a weird question, and it might be common knowledge, but I have no idea.
But I got a DM after we posted the link to the show and announced that you were coming on. I got a DM from someone who asked not to be named, but I will tell you it was a female, and she wanted to know if you're single.
Unfortunately, no, I'm not single.
Sorry, ladies, he's taken.
Yeah, I'm actually, as you can see, building a baby crib right now.
Okay. All right. So you got one. You got one on the way.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Congratulations. Beautiful baby on the way. Do you know if it's a boy or a girl yet?
The boy.
Boy. All right. Hey,
Yeah.
Are you happy about that?
Yeah, I am. I'm really happy.
Yeah. So I've got 3 kids, and so I've got 2 girls and a boy. So the first 2 were girls. And the first couple, I'm like, you know what? Everyone always asks me, do you want a boy or a girl? I'm like, I want a healthy child. But on that third one, I'm like, all right, I want a freaking boy now. Like I've got the girls. We've got that part taken care of. Give me my son, because I don't know if I could have handled a third daughter. But no, congratulations, dude. It's going to change your life.
Thank you, man.
It really is. It's challenging, but it's also the coolest thing that you'll ever do. I promise you that. Absolutely. All right, Britton, your turn.
So obviously you enjoy fighting, but outside of fighting, what's your biggest hobby?
I love collecting like guns. I like going to the shooting range a lot. I like doing stuff like that. Like as you can see, I have this is one of my shotguns. I have 2 Glocks right there. So I love collecting guns.
What's your favorite gun?
The Glock for sure. But I think that's because my uncle, when I was younger, I used to see him always with a lot of Glocks and stuff like that and all that. And that was one of my first guns I shot. So that
what caliber is it?
I have a Glock 19 and then a Glock 21, which is a 45.
Right.
And I have the earlier one, and then I have the KSG shotgun.
Very good. I'm also a collector of guns, sir. I'm a gun enthusiast myself, and I've got several handguns, but I don't know what it is. I've got like guns that are far more expensive than my Glock, but for whatever reason, that's my favorite handgun to shoot. I don't know why. I just really like it. And I've got a 1911 that I like also, but typically my everyday carry is definitely my Glock 19. I don't know why. I just like the way it operates. It's like one of those Glocks are just so reliable. Like I don't ever worry that if I pull the trigger, it's not going to go bang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so simple. There's very few things that can go wrong with it. So big fan. So cool. We share that in common. Are you a hunter, or do you just like mostly collect self-defense weapons? Hobbyist type stuff?
Well, it's I just like self-defense weapons and stuff. I carry it around. I carry my Glock 19 really wherever I go. I just got the Glock 45, so it's just really more from I don't really do nothing. I don't go out and party, drink, or that. So that's just one of my things.
Absolutely. Well, you got a baby on the way, so now you gotta make sure you get a gun safe, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, but more important than that is to teach your kids gun safety, and I firmly believe that.
I agree.
You definitely that first and foremost, that's your first line of defense, is teaching them about the weapon and about gun safety. That's incredibly important. Okay. Who would you say are the top 3 most influential people in your life?
My coach, and it's not really a lot of people that influenced me. I think it was really just Ryan, my coach.
So Ryan's had a big impact on you.
Yeah, and I would say my uncle too, because I lived with him for a while. So my uncle, but I would say mostly Ryan. Ryan really had a lot of influence on me. I basically learned a lot of basically who I am today. I learned a lot of things from him, and took it with me as I got older.
What would you say are some of the, I mean, I assume that you're talking, about fighting, but in addition to fighting as well, been just an influence in your life?
No, like fighting. Yes, he's taught me how to fight and everything, but he's taught me like life things. You know, like importance of just how to manage your money and ways to get money, and then just how to be a respectful man. You know, and just
Very
you
good.
know, yeah, just there's so many things. It's too much to name, but he taught me a lot of things.
Yeah. So and I know Ryan, and I've known him for a while. Seems like a really, really good guy. He's always been straight with me, always been fair, always been respectful. So he has definitely earned my respect. Okay. Britt, do you have anything? Because I've got one that may be a little bit more of an in-depth kind of conversation.
What's your favorite way to relax when you're not having a train or anything like that?
Oh, I love just being home, watching movies. I love eating. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't know that, but I love eating. I love eating. Like I could eat. Just chilling, watching
What's your
movies.
favorite?
What happened?
What's your favorite food you like eating?
Oh, you're breaking up on it. You broke up on us a little bit.
I did.
Yeah.
I said, what's your favorite food since you like to eat?
Oh, that's hard. I just like as in like what, like dinner, like if I just like on a daily basis, or
Yeah, just on a daily basis. Like, what's your number one thing that you have to have?
I don't know. I eat a lot. I've been going to Olive Garden a lot lately. I've been eating a lot of pasta, so I think I would definitely have to go with pasta.
Okay.
Solid
And
choice,
one more
solid
thing,
choice.
because I just got a private message. Someone wants to know how old you were when you started training. Did you start
17.
training? Okay.
17. I started late compared to a lot of people. I started
Okay.
I was 17, about to turn 18, so I started.
Fair enough. So, and there was somebody that was, it just said Facebook user, so I don't know who's asking, but
Yeah, that's the same thing.
someone asked me a question if this mark, if I'm Indian or if I have a pimple. Well, the answer is, and the answer is neither. I whacked myself in the head with the refrigerator door.
I honestly thought it was from your son hitting you with the glasses last time, so I wasn't gonna.
Oh no, he was getting after me pretty good though. My son was whacking me with glasses. No, I in the middle of the night I was getting some water out of the fridge and smacked myself somehow in the face with the door. So there you go. Congratulations. I wish it was on video. You guys probably would have thought it was funny. All right. So you're obviously. So I just want to say that I think that you are one of the overall most talented fighters on the BKFC roster right now. And you're also one of the youngest fighters.
Yes.
And so I think that as compared to some of these other people, a lot of people that are fighting, and at the top of the rankings are older fighters, for the most part, that could arguably be at least towards the end of their career, but that is not the case for you. So I think that you could potentially have a really, really interesting journey in this sport if you choose to, to do it for however long you want to. But
that's the plan.
Yeah, and I think that you could go down, realistically go down in history as possibly the greatest. I mean, if you do it for long enough, and based on your level of talent and your age is why I'm saying that. So, but that I say that to ask this question. Where do you think about this? Where's this sport going to be like, or where do you see this sport 5, 10, 20 years down the road? Because realistically, you have guys that are 20 years older than you that are still fighting on the roster.
I see it. Me personally, I see it becoming as big as UFC, if not bigger. It's more of a, it's a fast-paced sport. A lot of people don't like that boring, slow-paced fights, and it's quick. It's a lot of knockouts, blood. That's what people want to see when they go to a fight. They want to see blood. They want to see people getting knocked out, and they love that. Let's be honest, they love hearing this noise. That's all you hear.
Yeah.
That's what they love hearing that shit. They
Great.
like that Eric shit. So that's what this is what is making it grow. You see a lot of these famous UFC fighters coming to the sport, signing up. You see even Conor McGregor. He even followed Bare Knuckle, the page of Bare Knuckle. So I see it becoming as big as UFC, or if not bigger. You know.
I totally agree, and I thought that from from the time that I watched BKFC 1. I was like, this is gonna be something really special. So there's a Facebook user, and again, we can't see your names. We only see Facebook user. I wish I knew who was making these comments, but this question says, Styles make fight. He wanted Bedford. Does he feel as though his style is better suited for Bedford, and why? Do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, of course. So
Go for it.
what people don't know, a lot of people don't know. So a lot of people say, "Oh, Jared's one of the most talented boxers in bare knuckle." See, I see a lot of that, and I appreciate that so much. But when I was in amateur boxing, I was a brawler. Like I wasn't technical or nothing. Like I used to literally just go like I had a lot of knockouts in my amateur record, and then that's why my coach put me in bare knuckle, because I was a very aggressive fighter and stuff like that. But then I guess along the lines, I started getting sucked up into the, oh, Grant's an amazing boxer, Grant's amazing. So I started. That's why if you notice my fights, I start off kind of slow in my fights, until I start getting off. So I was just trying to be too technical in my fights. I feel like if I was to brawl with Bedford, but like in I'm not saying like in a technical, aggressive way, kind of like the way Dat did it. Yeah, my style would definitely be for that fight.
Yeah, and so are you talking in talks yet, or have you had any names thrown out? Are you looking to lay off for a while? Are you looking to
no. Why would I lay off? I'm 24 years old. Like
exactly. Hey, yeah. I don't want you to, man. I want to see you brutalize somebody.
People thought like after that, like I think people, I don't want people to get it confused. Like, I did what I wanted to. Like, remember, I got the belt on my first try against a game opponent. He was 6'4", 11-inch reach.
Yeah.
He had like 40, 50 professional fights in combined. So
right.
I mean, I did what I wanted to. I became the youngest champion, which I've been saying since I got into the sport. Now my new goal is to go get my belt back. Now it's just a new goal. Go get the belt back. Go keep racking up my wins. Reggie. It took, not to throw shade on Reggie or not congrats them. I already congratulated him on every social media platform. I did. I respected him. I gave him his congrats. But remember, it took him 3 times to get a belt. It took me on my first try. So, I mean, I did what I wanted to do already, and I'm still going to keep doing what I want. I'm still going to rack up them wins and potentially go down as one of the best bare knuckle fighters ever.
I think that, you have a really good opportunity to do that. I think you're good enough to do it. You're young enough to do it. I'm excited for your career, man. I think that, this is a young man with a bright future, and, he's got a great team behind him. You've got a lot going for you. So I'm excited for you, and I'm happy for you for the success that you've had. I know that you're going to come back and show us even more that we had. I feel like there's probably more to you that we haven't seen yet. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah, of course. And people forget, like, that was only my 6th professional fight ever. Like, right. I'm still learning, getting the hang of things. So that was my 6th professional fight ever. So
But
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Me and my coach, we're talking about it. We're just, out of curiosity. I fought combined with everyone that I fought with all the professional records. That was my 6th professional fight combined with everyone I fought. They had like 130 fights, professional fights combined.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, so I'm still learning. I'm still getting the hang of things, especially with bare knuckle. I think I need to start being a little bit more aggressive and kind of like balance out the boxing, but just more with bare knuckle style. So, I'm, like I said, I'm learning as I go.
Well, you're doing a pretty damn good job so far. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. So last topic that I have, we opened the show with this topic, and I can't get the thought out of my head. So if you didn't know this, I'm really good friends with Christine Faria, and was on her management team, and we talk a lot, and of course I'm pulling for her, but I also really like Taylor Starling as well. I think she's awesome. She's a friend of the show. She's amazing. She's a really talented fighter as well. And she's young too. She's not much older than you.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what some of the other fighters think. Like whoever wins this Faria Starling fight,
Who does the winner of that fight? And of course, obviously, I got to pull for my close friend because I'm just going to, because she's my friend, and I also happen to think she's a total badass. But who does the winner of that fight? Who challenges them as it stands today in the women's division in your mind?
Like who gets the winner of the Taylor and Christine?
Who does the winner fight next?
I think the winner should fight somebody like a big name. I think they deserve, if whoever wins that fight deserves a big name. Man, whatever female big names out there, I believe they should get that. I think who was her name? The Hawaiian girl. I forgot what's her name. She's like a famous the one that fought, not Rowdy Beck. I think she fought Paige Van Zandt.
Pearl Gonzalez?
No, not Pearl.
Rachel Ostovich.
Rachel, yeah, maybe Rachel. Yeah. I think, right? She's 1-0.
Yeah, she's 1-0. She's 1-0. But and that's the crazy part about it, though. In a young sport, is that especially in the women's division is so small that not many people have a multiple fight record, even. And even less people have a winning multiple fight record. So it's like it's a tough call. So a big name is cool, but like then you get all the chatter from the community of like, oh, they're just getting it because they're a big name and it's not fair to the rest of the But who else is there?
This is gonna happen for a little minute until the sport gets bigger. So it's gonna go through stuff like that for a little bit until it gets bigger and a bigger roster with more females until it starts building up. So it's fine if stuff like that happens now. It's not like you don't have 30-40 people in the division that you could like make matches with, so you just got to go through that until it gets bigger.
Absolutely. Are there any fights coming up that you're excited to watch?
The MVP Mike Perry, I want to see that one.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be killer.
Connor Tierney and Joe Elmore.
Yeah,
that's what
those two fights, and then of course Sam Shewmaker versus Mickey Terrell, I think is going to be that's going to be a banger of a heavyweight fight as well.
Yeah.
There's lots of good fights coming up. And of course you got, the week after that, then you've got a bunch of good fights on the New Mexico card too. That's going to be a crazy one as well. So of course, main event being Misfit versus Killer B. So
that one I can't wait to watch as well.
Yeah. Who you got? Do you want to make a call?
So I personally know both, and I'm personally good friends with both of them.
Yeah.
They have a lot of heart. Christine Ferreira, she was I met her before I met Taylor, and I always thought Christine Ferreira, she was like, wow, she's a badass bitch. Like she could she throws punches like a man. So like that right. Yeah, she's tough, But Taylor has that young, like hungry, like where she wants to go and get it. So those are the type of fights that you never really know. It's just gotta watch it and see.
I agree, and I think Christine pulls this one out, but I really do think that Taylor will be a champion in this sport at some point in time.
You never know. I hate calling those type of fights because
I don't like it either. Yeah, you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, and I really like Taylor as well.
Yeah, because like if that was the case, like if I didn't believe Taylor was gonna win, then I would have just said it like that. Because at the end of the day, that's just the honest truth. But no, I really personally don't know because anything can happen. One, anything can happen in bare knuckle, and two, like Taylor's very hungry and she's tough. She's tough too. Like she could take a punch and she's gonna go try to get Christine. But Christine's very technical and she knows how to throw her punches very well. So
she does. And I'm just like, that's part of the reason why I got out of management. And for those that don't know, I only work with on a management level. I only work with Sam. I used to work with a whole bunch of fighters, but I got out of the management gig for the most part just because like I really do like being friends with everybody. You know what I mean? And like the fight business is a dirty business, and I'm just like, I'd just rather be friends. You know what I mean? Than but no. So I do worry about hurting people's feelings, and I do like Taylor, and so I hope she's not mad at me. But I got to go with my good buddy Christine. Honestly, is one of my best friends, so got to go with her. But hey, thank you so much, my man, for giving us your time. And do you want to shout out any sponsors or give anybody a shout out or any credit or anything? If there's anything that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about, here's your chance.
No, just thank you for having me on, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you to all my sponsors. I don't have I have a lot of sponsors, so I just thank you to all of them. And, yeah, really thank you for everyone. Thank you for
Hell yeah, man. Well, I know that you don't do a lot of interviews, so I appreciate you giving us your time.
Yes,
of
thank
course.
you so much. It was
Yeah, man.
great getting to talk
No,
with you.
Anytime you guys want me.
All right, man. Well, hey, have a great night. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, man. See you guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Another good guy. I know we say that about almost everyone. We've never like had somebody on the show that like after we're done, we're like, oh, that person was an asshole. Like, no, he just. But legit, I really feel that way. Like, I like pretty much.
I know. I
everybody
really
that
like
comes on.
him.
Yeah.
I haven't really had much interaction with him, but thank you again for bringing up Mexico, New Mexico. Thank you. Thank you for rubbing that in my face yet again.
I'm sorry. And Vince is in the chat. Thank you for the compliment, Vince. I appreciate that. And I'm sad to hear that you're not going to be in New Mexico either, apparently. But you know what? Hey, maybe we'll catch you at the next one.
I'm just going to keep aligning my stars. That's all I can do.
It's gonna happen. We're all gonna be, our entire friend group is gonna be at one event together at some point. So anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. We're the Bare Knuckle Insiders. I'm Matt. That's Britton. I always do it backwards, but we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday, 8 Eastern. Later.
Sounds good. Bye.
Having a hard time going back to the gym after working out at home? Well, now you don't have to with the X-Bar. The X-Bar from X-Bar Fitness is an incredible gym alternative that gives you the same intense workout you get at a full gym with hundreds of machines. One X-Bar alone provides the same workout as a cable machine, bench press, dumbbell set, free weights, leg press, barbell set, and all these other machines. Stop wasting time debating whether or not you should go to the gym. Order the X-Bar to get a quality workout in the comfort of your own home.